Krishna to everybody.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Agnanathmirandasya Gnanandana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavatam Canto 4 Chapter 20 Verse 13. Sama Samanottama Madhyamadhamah Sukhe cha Dukhe cha Jitendriyashayah Mayo Mayopakliptakhila Lokasamyuto Vidatsva Virakhila Lokarakshanam. My dear heroic king, please keep yourself always equipoised and treat people equally, whether they're greater than you, in the intermediate stage, or lower than you. Do not be disturbed by temporary distress or happiness. Fully control your mind and senses. In this transcendental position, try to execute your duty as king in whatever condition of life you may be posted by my arrangement. For your only duty here is to give protection to the citizens of your kingdom. Here is an example of receiving direct instruction from the Supreme Lord Vishnu. One has to execute the order of Lord Vishnu, whether receiving it directly from him or from his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. Arjuna fought the battle of Kurukshetra under the direct order of Supreme Lord Krishna. Similarly, here Prthu Maharaj is also being given orders by Lord Vishnu regarding the execution of his duty. We have to stick to the principle stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Every man's duty is to receive orders from Lord Krishna or from his bona fide representative and take these orders as his life and soul without personal considerations. Please note, without personal considerations. Meaning, oh, I can do it, oh, I cannot do it, oh, it's very inconvenient, no, this is easy, that, this, all this is personal consideration. No personal consideration. Simply surrender to the orders of Guru. That's all. Mm. And if we don't accept a Guru, then our life is spoiled anyway. Because it says that every man's duty is to receive orders. We can't receive orders from Lord Krishna directly. So we receive orders from his bona fide representative. And we have to take these orders as life and soul. Actually, this is the only thing which is going to take us back home, back to God. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. And we should not think, oh, how does spiritual master know whether I'm following his instruction or not? Cheating propensity. Mm. If he is a representative of Krishna, why will he not know? Or whether he directly knows or not, a different thing. Anyway, mercy is flowing from Krishna. So Guru will be pleased if somebody is following the orders, and automatically for that devotee, mercy flows and he is able to make progress. Otherwise, we'll be stuck with our anarthas. Mm. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunaistattra samasate suraha. For us to be able to do akinchana bhakti, we need the mercy of Guru. How will that happen? When we follow the orders of the Guru. If you don't follow the orders of the Guru, we might be initiated by a bona fide Guru, but then we will be living an independent life because we are not taking orders from Guru, so we are deciding ourselves how we have to live our life. If we decide ourselves how we have to live our life, then there's no guarantee that it's going to be uh, Krishna conscious because we have all we're stuck in material bondage. So it's very clear, if we don't accept a bona fide representative and also take his orders, then our life is wasted. Because even if we accept a bona fide representative and not take his orders, unfortunately, we are becoming the cause for the bona fide representative, for the guru to come back possibly another time to take us back. Hopefully, by then we would have rectified our mistake. So one has to accept a guru and take orders from. And you have to understand these orders also. Orders don't have to be personal. It's not like the guru has to call us personally, sit in front of us and say, okay, see, this is my instruction for you. That is some very special gifted devotees who are like able to take such big responsibilities that guru can might tell them specifically to do this or that. But generally, Guru's Vani, whatever Guru is speaking, are all considered to be considered orders. That is why this initiation is not some cheap business. Because like Guru is speaking so many things. Like for example, I mean, if I just one 45 minutes class, if Guru is speaking 45 minutes, how many instructions can be there? Right? So many instructions can be there. And if we are mm, not even trying, then our life is wasted. Then the whole initiation is was just cheating. We just cheated ourselves. We can't cheat the guru. We cheated ourselves. Of course, we cheat the guru also because he he had faith. He trusted us and initiated us. Mm. So very very important. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states that one should not care very much whether he is going to be liberated or not, but he should simply execute the order received from the spiritual master. Mm. If one sticks to the principle of abiding by the order of the spiritual master, he will always remain in a liberated position. Yeah, because Guru will also give some order like this. Keep yourself equipoised, distribute Krishna consciousness. Uh, so when we are executing their orders, then we will be in liberated position because the order will be on the transcendental platform. Common man must execute the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma by working in his prescribed duty according to the caste and spiritual order, Varna and Ashrama. If only simply executes regularly and strictly the injunctions given for the different divisions of life, then one satisfies Lord Vishnu. But this is a very low standard. Mm. Varnashrama acharate Uman. Uh, mm, for the satisfaction of Vishnu. So we have to, we can execute for the satisfaction of Vishnu, but this is not bhakti. This is just karma yoga. But we are expected to come to the position of bhakti. Mm. So like I was discussing yesterday, vikarma, then sakama karma, nishkama karma, then karma yoga, then bhakti yoga. In that there will be uh, bhakti mishra karma, where karma is predominant, bhakti is little, then karma mishra bhakti. When karma is less, bhakti is predominant, and then kevala bhakti. So in that ladder, you can see karma yoga is so low. Yeah, but this is basic required. If somebody has to be considered cultured human being, then they should be following Varnashrama Dharma. But more important than any of this is Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam, taking full shelter of Krishna and executing devotional service. As the king, Prthu Maharaj was ordered by Lord Vishnu to keep himself always aloof from the activities of the bodily situation and to engage always in the service of the Lord and thus keep himself in the liberated stage. So this is the instruction for all of us also. We have to keep ourselves aloof from the activities of the bodily situation. It's so difficult. So difficult. Mm. Like I got delayed today because my mother was having giddiness in the morning. So what can we do? If even if you want to remain aloof from activities of bodily situation, so just drag us. Somehow, yeah, we have to just even when we are in the middle of mm, these bodily situations, we should follow this. Should not be disturbed. We should not be disturbed by temporary happiness. And we have to fully control our mind and temple. Very difficult, yeah, but every moment we have tests going on. The word Baddha Sauradha in the previous verse is explained here with one can fully remain in intimate connection with the Supreme Lord directly or receive orders from his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, and execute the orders sincerely when one keeps aloof. See, when one keeps aloof from the activities of the body. When we keep ourselves aloof from the activities of the body, can we execute the orders of the spiritual master? Because otherwise, we'll always be concerned about the body, and the body will always be have body and mind keeps putting different obstacles, hindrances. We can't execute the orders sincerely. Hmm. So if we have to execute the order sincerely, that is possible only when we keep ourselves aloof from the activities of the body as minimum as possible. Uh, Labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jignasa. Just jiveta, just for self-preservation, how much ever work is required on the material platform, we should do that. Jivasya tattva jignasa. Use the life for actually inquiring into the absolute, serving the absolute. The Lord helps us by giving us directions how to act in devotional service and thus advance on the path back home, back to Godhead. Now, how do we understand this statement? Hmm? Helps us by giving us directions how to act in devotional service and thus advance on the path back home, back to Godhead. So, Prabhupada is answering. How? He instructs us outwardly in the form of the Guru. Hmm? And also through Shastra. Therefore, one should not accept the spiritual master as an ordinary human being. This is another problem. Many devotees consider their spiritual master, they look at him as ordinary being or they look at him as their friend and no friendship nonsense. Hmm. Arjuna said, Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. I'm done with my friendly talks with you, Krishna. Hmm. Acharyam mam vijaniyam navamanyeta karichit. One should not treat the spiritual master as an ordinary human being. For he is the substitute for the Supreme Person of Godhead. One should treat the spiritual master as the Supreme Person of Godhead and never be envious of him or consider him to be an ordinary human being. Being envious of him. What does being envious of Guru mean? Trying to take his position. Mm, by coming in between devotees, other devotees, and Guru. Seen so many such situations. You can just be like transparent via media, just like Guru is transparent via media. Those who are preaching, those who are in positions, in management positions in ISKCON, etc. Our work is not to come in the middle, or even preachers, etc. If we follow the instruction of the spiritual master and execute devotional service to the Lord, we'll remain always free from the contamination of the bodily and material activities, and our life will be successful. So, if we are contaminated, our bodily and material activities are contaminated, then we can understand that we are not executing the orders of Guru. We're not executing devotional service. There's some contamination, some we're doing some things wrong, and so we remain. We remain on the contaminated bodily platform. But if you actually follow the instruction of spiritual master and execute devotional service, we will always remain free from contamination, bodily and material activities. Very powerful purport. Mm. So two things to note, right? While we are trying to do bhakti also, we should keep ourselves equipoised and treat people equally. Number one, we should not be disturbed by temporary distress or happiness and fully control mind and senses. And of course, because we are in the process of bhakti, the process itself helps us. But the process should help us to actually achieve this state. If we are not able to achieve this state, that means that we are not making progress. And we can also try. See, sometimes, like I keep saying, like sometimes we are just willfully falling down. Meaning, We are envious of somebody. We are angry at somebody. All this just material platform. Mm. So that is why suggestion is engage ourselves as much as possible, absorb ourselves in devotional service so that we don't have time to think about petty things of this world. Most of the things that we are affected by, from where we think that others are responsible for our misery, just all will all be just petty things. It can just be ignored, comfortably, conveniently ignored. But because we don't have anything else to do, this is a major, pastime for us. Dealing with people, dealing with family. So what will happen? Then we get absorbed in that. But if you are constantly worried saying that how do I take Srila Prabhupada's books to every home, a book marathon is coming. Srila Prabhupada wanted his books in every house. So how many of us here are actually meditating on that? How many of us have targets, goals to achieve? In all our preaching, we are setting goals. Everybody has to take up targets. Otherwise, we will just simply we remain on the material platform. Life, at least 1 month in a year, let our life change. Let our life focus be something apart from just our work and house and this and that and all that, which is happening throughout the year. So Prabhupada wanted us to distribute books throughout the year, but then because we are so caught up in material life, we should at least dedicate ourselves in during book marathon. And I see many devotees, unfortunately, book marathon devotees go on, because it's last weekend, is long weekend. They go on personal trips and this and that and all that. But that's not the idea. The idea is to actually engage our full time. This 1 month at least, 40 days, I say, because Vaikuntha Ekadashi is on, I think, Jan 10th. So we start on December 1st. We can start today also, doesn't matter. Dedicate 30, 40 days to just do book distribution. And nothing else is important during this period. So if there is no absorption in service, if we don't have some goal which is way beyond us, our absorption will never come out of material things. Never. Please make note. We can be 50, we can be 60, we can be 70, we can be 80, we can be 100 years old. Still our mind will go towards material things. Why? Because we don't have any other absorption. Mm. So everybody on this group needs to have a book distribution target. If you don't have a target, please be sincere and let me know, and we can set a target. Mm. I'm setting a minimum target of at least one book a day. At least for those who just cannot do anything. Mm. So 40 Bhagavad Gitas, 40 maybe medium books, and at least 5 Bhagavatam sets. At least. This is the target for everybody. And then there are some really, fired up devotees who are also attending these classes, who are like going to distribute like, lot more books. Right? We can at least help them. We can look at them, get inspired, but we also have our own targets. Because I realize if there are no targets, we are not. Of course, I don't even know how many devotees will take these targets seriously. But this is the whole idea of devotional life. Is to accept orders, right? And we think that Prabhupada has given us order every year that we have to go out for distribution, and we are distributing that same order to everybody. And if somebody doesn't want to take it up, then they don't want to follow instructions of Srila Prabhupada, then it's up to them. So the key here is to remain in transcendental position. Please remember this. We will not remain in transcendental position if you are just engaged materially. Either family, children, or work. That's all. Yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah, bro, I have a question on that aspect when Prabhupada said that we should be equipoised in treatment, whether somebody is in smaller status and stage.
Hmm.
So in other purports, Prabhupada also explains about discrimination, right?
Yeah, yeah. So both
So
are there all the time. Both are there all the time. We should not see. Vishnu is speaking some things, understanding what Prthu Maharaj knows already. So it's not like he's spelling out everything. But general thing about being equipoised with treat people is to discriminate, but not to ill-treat or not to disrespect. Is that clear?
yeah,
Discriminate is to just avoid unnecessary association, but not to disrespect. We should respect every jiva, and we can remain far off from people whom, yeah, who are not good association. That's all.
okay, bro. Yeah,
Okay. Anyway, anything else? So Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So book distribution target. There's nothing else this month. Hmm. So everybody will get a target. I know who all attend these classes. Bad luck.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I have one idea.
Yeah.
So I think a few years back, I set up a stall in my office.
Hmm.
So if the devotees are working in offices, they can speak to their HR. We can have a book
Yeah.
counter,
Good idea.
and a lot of books get distributed on that day. So that will help us to achieve more targets also.
Yeah. Not just one day. It should be like throughout the month. There should be a book table.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. And you can just say we are keeping these books. Anybody interested can, and then you can put some pamphlets there, some content there for people to read and understand. Especially IT companies means some information. They are like knowledge seekers, so you can give them reasons. You can put one small, you know, some small clips to like help them understand why they should read or whatever. Be there during common times when people gather together. Whatever, something, yeah. But like I said, at least one book every day, and five Bhagavatam sets minimum. This is the target for everybody. One BG at least per day. So one medium book. So 40 BGs minimum. And of course, Vaikuntha Ekadashi will be like much more. Right.
Yeah.
So everybody, and it doesn't matter whether you're working, not working, we are at home, everybody has mobile phone, everybody has contacts on their mobile phone. Just call people, convince them, and they have to take book. And you will have so many contacts, right, whom you've not been in touch with for so many days, years. Talk to everybody, give them mercy. And we will facilitate getting books. If you want us to courier things, etc., we'll take care of all that. Of course, you can also put some little effort, but yeah, if it is practically not possible for some reason, we can take care of that. But we need absorption, and at least this 1 month we need absorption. Shreya prajapalanam eva ragno yatsam samparaye sukrutat kashtam amsham hartanyatha krita punya prajanam arakshita karaharo gham atti. To give protection to the general mass of people who are citizens of the state is the prescribed occupational duty for a king. By acting in that way, the king in his next life shares 1/6 of the result of the pious activities of the citizens. But a king who simply, or executive head of state, who simply collects taxes from citizens but does not give them proper protection as human beings, has the results of his own pious activities taken away by the citizens. And in exchange for his not giving protection, he becomes liable to punishment for the impious activities of the subjects. Very, very dangerous position, being a king, being a politician, being a leader. And this is true for all, at all levels. This is also true for leaders within ISKCON. So if we don't give them proper direction, then we lose our pious credits also. Because we become responsible for their bad actions. It's a simple uh, concept. King is responsible to give direction. If he doesn't give proper direction, he becomes responsible for the wrong action because it was his responsibility. So every position we take responsibility. Responsibility is to give proper direction to people who come to us. And if we don't give proper direction, for whatever reason, then we will have to face the consequences. Of course, in bhakti, this results in things like seva prad, nama prad, lack of taste in Krishna consciousness, or wanting la puja pratishtha. All these is a result of, uh, you know, basically not making people follow proper rules and regulations. The question may be raised here that if everyone engaged in spiritual activities to attain salvation and uh, became indifferent to activities of material world, how could things as they are go on? And if things are to go on as they ought to, how can a head of state be indifferent to such activities? Answer to the question, the word Shreya, auspicious, is used here. The division of activities in society as arranged by the Supreme Lord was not blindly or accidentally created, as foolish people say. The Brahmana must do his duty properly, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and even Shudra must do the same. And every one of them can achieve the highest perfection of life, liberation from material bondage. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Sve sve karmanya bhirata tam siddhim labate naraha. Executing one's prescribed duties, one can attain the highest perfection. Lord Vishnu advised Maharaj Prthu that a king is not enjoined to give up his kingdom and the responsibility of the project protecting the prajas or citizens to instead go away to the Himalayas for liberation. He can attain liberation while executing his royal duties. The royal duty or the duty of the head of the state is to see that the prajas are doing their respective duties for spiritual salvation. A secular state does not necessitate a king or a head of state who is indifferent to the activities of the prajas. Secular only means you can follow any path. As it is not godless. It is given by God. God has given many paths. You can choose different paths. Prabhupada said, yeah, a Hindu has to follow his, whatever his religion says, Muslims, Christians, etc. So a secular state allows people to follow their faith. Of course, this is all mundane because finally what everybody has to follow is Sanatana Dharma. But assuming that there are other religions which are also bona fide, then those religions can be allowed to be followed. In the modern state, the government has many rules and regulations for conducting the duties of the prajas, but the government neglects to see that the citizens advance in spiritual knowledge. The government is careless in this matter. Citizens will act whimsically without any sense of God realization, thus become entangled in sinful activities. So this is the responsibility of the government. An executive head should not be callous to the welfare of the general mass of people, while he simply goes on collecting taxes. The king's real duty is to see that the citizens gradually become fully Krishna conscious. Krishna conscious means completely free from all sinful activities. As soon as there is complete eradication of sinful activities in the state, then there will be no more war, pestilence, famine, or natural disturbances. This is actually prevailing during the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthir. If a king or head of government is able to induce citizens to become Krishna conscious, then he is worthy to rule over the mass of people. Otherwise, he has no right to levy taxes. The king looks after the spiritual interests of the citizens. He can levy taxes without difficulties. In this way, both the subjects and the king will be happy during this life. And in the next life, the king will be able to share 1/6 of the pious activities of the citizens. Otherwise, by levying taxes on the sinful citizens, he will have to share the reactions of their sinful activities. Because he is taking money which is sinful. So he'll have to share the reactions. The same principle can be applied to parents and spiritual masters as well. If parents simply give birth to children like cats and dogs but cannot save their children from imminent death, they become responsible for the activities of their animalistic children. Lately, such children are turning into hippies. Similarly, if a spiritual master cannot direct his disciples to become free of sinful activities, he becomes responsible for their sinful acts. The subtle laws of nature are unknown to the present leaders of society. Since the leaders of society have poor fund of knowledge and the citizens in general are rogues and thieves, there cannot be an auspicious situation for human society. At the present moment, the whole world is full of such an incompatible combination of state and citizens. And therefore, there's constant tension, war, and anxiety as an inevitable result of such social conditions. So the key here is to become responsible. Parents, leaders, spiritual masters, all of us have to become responsible. Because we are all gurus. Parents are gurus at home. And then each of us have our own areas in which there are people who are depending on us, seeking our guidance, etc. All of those places we are responsible to actually give the correct direction as given by Shastra. Otherwise, we become responsible for those acts, whether they are sinful, whether they are offensive. We become responsible. Of course, sinful though directly we become responsible. Offensive means if we don't, then our bhakti might go down. But if followers are engaged in sinful activities, not following four regulative principles, or engaging in grossly ugra karma, then the guru becomes responsible for these acts. That is seen as weird types of suffering. Prabhupada once, he was suffering so much, and then all devotees were very concerned, and he said, "This is not because of my karma phala. The nature of the suffering is clear. It shows that it is because of sinful acts of my disciples. Looks like my disciples are not following rules." And also what Prabhupada instituted then was constant kirtan among devotees. Why is that? Anybody can say? So when Prabhupada was, externally not well, you know, many devotees came and asked him, saying that Prabhupada, why are you not well? Why don't you take medicine, this, that, and all that? So he said, this is not because of my karma phala that I have to. It's not going to go by medicine. He said it is because of sinful life of my disciples. So then across the globe, in all ISKCON center, what was instated was constant kirtana. Why?
Because holy name chanting burns the reactions, right?
No, namaprad. You're going on namaprad path. Holy name doesn't burn reactions.
Hey Krishna Prabhuji,
Doing
cleanses
something
our
like that is namaprada. Yeah, Shashank Prabhu.
cleanses our heart from
Yeah,
pious thinkings.
cheto darpana marjanam. So we get rid of our sinful propensities. So Prabhupada did not say them, tell them to do anything else. Didn't say do prayers, do this, do that, nothing. He simply said increase chanting Hare Krishna. Because that's the only way for purification. So we have to really study Prabhupada's life. We learn so many things. It's very, very important that, responsible, we become responsible. And of course, the king's position is even more dangerous. But yeah, same Prabhupada also says, yeah, same principle can be applied to parents and spiritual masters as well. So we have to be responsible and follow ourselves, follow rules, regulations properly, and guide others also who are depending on us to follow rules and regulations. Yeah, Prabhupada.
True, but it is also mentioned, right, that one who chants the holy name, all his sinful reactions also get
Yeah,
burned,
but
right?
if you do with the intention that I'm chanting now, all my sinful reactions will go,
Huh.
that's namaprad.
No, Namaprad is like if we try to nullify that reactions and then keep on
That is
doing.
what it is, no? You're trying to nullify reaction. But if you don't purify yourself, you're just using the name for some personal benefit.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
See, Nama is only for the pleasure of the Lord. And when does the Lord get pleased? When we are pure. Simple. That is why in ISKCON we don't go about all this, saying what are the benefits of chanting. Because then people will go on, will start taking it as material. Right? Like today, okay, somebody has some problem, they go to astrologer, he'll say something, they'll do and come, it'll become like that. So we should never think about holy name in terms of, getting rid of sinful reaction. All that it will happen. Let it happen. Chetodarpana marjanam is the most important thing. Heart has to be cleansed. Namno baladyasya papa buddhi is, see, once, so for example, Indra, Vritrasura, right? So what did sages advise Indra? Sages advised Indra saying that you are in this sinful, because he was affected by his sin, having killed a Brahmana. So then they say, no, you worship Supreme Lord, and then all your reactions will go. And then Prabhupada, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also says that is Nama Parad. So we should not use Nama for our service to benefit us. You can read that actually, the Vritrasura incident. Right after Indra kills Vritrasura, and then sinful reactions are following him, and then some advice given by some Brahmanas, or I don't know, one or some other incident, I think. But this is Indra involving Indra and some advice. Let me see if I can find that. But we should not go behind Nama for. Yeah, because see what will happen is then our mood is not actually to get rid of our the impious nature, right? We should just want purification so that we will never repeat that nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Anybody?
Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, actually, in my locality where I'm residing, there is no center, there are no devotees. But last Ekadashi, I went and distributed around 8 to 9 small books. But people were little reluctant, like some took the books and they were not ready to pay. I said, okay, but you just at least read. And I have one more query that should we approach, should females approach males? Like we should give them also because
for
I
book
just.
distribution, we can do anything. Fine.
Okay.
We're not going
And
into getting into intimate contact with anybody. It's just on the road or public place or wherever.
Okay.
We don't have to. Yeah, we can just see one thing about book distribution. Please don't give it for free. Book should not be given for free because nobody will value it. And whether there
But
is
they
a
were not
center,
ready to take.
no, then
That's
it's
why I
fine.
had to.
Then they won't read. The problem is they won't read. If they say I have only 20 rupees, I can't give you 30 rupees, then it's okay. But just because they were not reluctant, they were not ready to take the book at all, they will not read. Prabhupada clearly said. Right, and forward
Then
that.
we should not give them. Those who are too reluctant, we should not give them.
No, we can try to convince them. But giving it free just means, okay, I gave a book, but there's no guarantee that person is going to read.
Okay, and some
Person
were
can
like they
have
were
like 20
walking.
rupees, and then somebody might say, no, I really want to read. I don't have 30 rupees. No problem, take it.
Okay.
That is one. Second point, Mataji, is whether there is a center or no center, book distribution is always difficult. Always we have to pray for Paramatma's mercy to give mercy to the soul, right? Because the book distribution is generally difficult unless we are.
And also, the culture is different here, like in this place, and there are no devotees also, and I'm like, kind of alone. So I'll
You're
try,
never alone.
Prabhuji.
You're never alone.
Yes.
Krishna
I'm
is with us.
scared also a little if my husband sees that, what is she doing on the road?
That you have
That
to
is
figure
also.
out, but other things
Yeah,
are.
that is also a risk, but I just went on last Ekadashi and I felt nice when I gave. I'll try for Bhagavad Gita as well.
Yeah.
Give your blessings. So we'll make
We'll all pray.
it.
So many devotees are here. We can all pray. Actually, we should all pray for all our book distribution efforts because it's difficult. Everywhere devotees who go for book distribution have the same this one, right? Saying that see, we have to become. We should not be worried about the result. That is when we get into tension or worry, right? We should just go. We are trying to do the greatest good for that jiva. You know, if we don't give that book, if we don't manage to convince that person to buy, and it's not by our effort, of course, by our effort, but by Paramatma's mercy, then the jiva is going to continue to rot in this material world. So it's just out of compassion that we have to go out and distribute books. It's not for anything else. It's just compassion so that, you know, you at least let them get the mercy.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? Okay, we'll close here. Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhyo Vacha Paritana Bhavane Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaste. Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Yeah, and wherever we are, we should try. This marathon, let's try distributing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare